together there. Excuse me. Okay. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with a live stream of Automobilista 2. I finally got my hands on this game. This game was developed by Riza Studios. It normally sells for $40. There is an autumn sale going on at the moment on Steam, so I was able to pick this game up for 20 bucks. So I figured, well, I had my eye on this game for a while. Originally, when this game first came out, it didn't look like something that I was interested in. I didn't like, I felt like they didn't have a big enough selection of cars. I didn't like the way, you know, this is from seeing videos. I didn't like the way the cars behaved. The cars looked rather bouncy to me. And as far as the track selection goes, you know, I didn't really dig too deep into that, because when the game first came out, the tracks that they were running on, the videos that I was seeing, I wasn't terribly familiar with the tracks. But they have added some DLC, some content, Nürburgring cars and stuff like that. So I figured the time had come to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. So this sale was right on time. So I guess before we get into a race, I'll explain a few things. Starting with trying to get my wheel calibrated. That was a nightmare. The way my wheel was behaving, I thought I had my wheel calibrated, and the wheel wouldn't stay centered. It was jumping from left to right like an old Nintendo controller. Long story short, I went and I deleted the drivers to my racing wheel and then re-downloaded the drivers, and then came back and recalibrated the wheel. So I was able to get that squared away, and then so I drove a few laps, and we'll get into the physics and that kind of stuff here in a moment. But so let's go back and a single race here, and you look over, and the game, this is the standard game with no DLC. There is a lot of tracks, and I mean a lot. And you know, and each track has some, well, most of them have several configurations. So, but naturally, I wanted to go with a track that I was familiar with. Suzuka is on here, but it has a different name. It's like right here is a Kansai Grand Prix, but this is Suzuka right here. And I don't know, maybe we'll monkey around with that. I like Suzuka, but it is a short track. I don't think it's I don't think it's a track where it's to me, it feels like more one of those tracks where passing is probably more about waiting for other drivers to make mistakes. I like high-speed tracks with a few curves. But Bathurst right here, this is one of the tracks that I'm familiar with, so I figured the best way to gauge this game in terms of gameplay, physics, handling, all that kind of stuff, is to try it with a car that I'm familiar with and try it on a track that I'm familiar with. So before we get started, I'll check the chat real quick. All right, let's get back at it. Shout out to my friend Kevy D and my friend Ham for the win. My apologies to him. He wanted to play. He sent me a message wanting to play Star Wars Squadrons, because I believe there was an update adding a couple of more maps and another ship. But by the time I woke up and got that message, it was like 10 p.m. Eastern time here, which would have made it about 3 in the morning in Europe. So I wasn't able to get together with him. But yeah, you got a lot of tracks here to choose from, and then cars. As you can see here, they got a lot of classes of cars, you know, but there's not a lot of cars within those classes. You know, like right here, these cars, it looks like you only got one to choose from. V10, you know, one car there, two cars there. But the classes that I'm more or less concerned about are these 6 classes right here: P1 and 2, P3 and 4, GT3 mostly, GT4, which, you know, as far as I'm concerned, GT4 is basically production cars with stickers all over it. Which, you know, in the old days of the Gran Turismos and the Forza Motorsports 2, I actually preferred using the production cars, because I used to like the thought of, hey, if I buy a car out of a showroom and took it to a track, this is what the car might do. But now, you know, it's like when it comes to racing sims, I want to drive a racing car and not a production car, because when it comes to physics and handling and stuff like that, racing cars are far more superior than production cars. In the case of production cars, you have to hit the brakes much sooner than a racing car, and you have to start your turn much sooner than a racing car. A production car leans and rolls more than a racing car. You know, a production car slides more than a racing car. So just like, racing cars are just far more superior, at least, you know, on a video game. I've never driven a real racing car, but on video games, racing cars are far more superior than production cars. So over here in this class, GT4, you see that you only got 3 cars to choose from. In the GT3 class, you've got 3 cars to choose from, but I do like the cars that they gave you. This Porsche right here, Porsche 991 GT3R, that has become my go-to car on Assetto Corsa Competizione. You know, I was stuck on the Acura NSX for the longest, but I finally got around to trying different cars, and I think the Porsche GT3R, this is my go-to car on Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I wanted to go with this car on Automobilista 2 and try it out and see what I think of it. And so what I'm going to do is when I get into a race, I'm not going to go all out. I'm just going to tell you guys what I think as I go around the track a couple of times, and then we'll get seriously into a race. So let's get started. Let's get into a race. One of the things that I had to do was when a race starts in VR, it never starts in the position that I want it in. So right at the start of a race, I have to pause it and then recenter it to get it where I want, and then we can go. So here, let me take a second here. Looking at that car over there, though, it looks pretty good. So, right now the car looks a little bit low, so that's tolerable. I'll go with that. But wow, looking over there, looking at that car, it looks pretty good. Looking at the background, not bad. You know, naturally you look out into the fans, and they're paper cutouts, just pretty much like just about any other racing game. something that I gotta do in the settings, but when I hit the wall, there was no damage to the car. So looking at the VR part of it, doesn't look bad. It might be a situation where I might have to like keep going back and forth to train my eyes, but right now I'm feeling like, as far as the VR clarity goes, Project Cars 2 is probably looks the best in VR out of the games that I have. Now, so to run off all the games that I have, the racing games that support VR, I have Assetto Corsa Competizione, Project Cars 2, Race Room, and now Automobilista 2. So I think that's 5 titles that I ran off. I've also got Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0, but those are dirt racing games, so I don't even want to consider those. But nonetheless, they do support VR, and they look okay in VR. But as far as the racing sims goes, I'm feeling like Project Cars 2 might have the best clarity for VR out of the games that I have, and this game comes a very close second. I mean, I can make out everything, I can see straight ahead, I can see that corner down there, but then again, I know this track, so I know that corner's down there, but I can still see it nonetheless. So I think as far as VR goes, I think this game is doable. Here comes the other cars. And the way they just went by right there, I think this game runs decent. As far as, I would probably say, I think this game, because it was done with the Madness engine that Project Cars 2 and I think Project Cars 3 was done in. And as far as how good this game runs, you might be able to make a case that it might be the best running game that I've ever played as far as how well it runs, because it runs just as good as Project Cars 2, but I think with maybe slightly less hiccups. So I think this game is, pretty good as far as VR goes. With all these games that support VR, inside the car always looks sharp. I mean, that rear view mirror that I'm looking at right there looks pretty damn good. So does this mirror out here. This mirror outside the car, whereas they don't look that good on the Assetto Corsa Competizione. Now, granted, I did turn the graphics down on that in order to try to get the game to run better, but even with the graphics turned all the way up in VR, this game still clearly looks better than the Assetto Corsa Competizione. So, the VR part, I'll give it a thumbs up, until, my guess is, until you get something like a HP Reverb G2, and you get a computer that's got like a 3090 and the i9, i9 processor and stuff like that, you're not going to get a crystal clear picture. But for what I got, I'm working with an Alienware Aurora R8. I've upgraded my CPU to a i7 9700K. My graphics card is an RTX 2070. Given that, it looks decent. So it runs, the way those bunch of cars just went through, they ran through fairly smooth. I even dare say they might even went past me smoother than Project Cars 2. Now, no question about it, when I'm playing the Assetto Corsa Competizione and the cars go past you, it is skittish. It is not smooth when all the other cars go past you. Let me see it. I've got 16 cars. I'm racing against a grid of 16 cars. whenever I race on a set of Corsa, I turn the grid down to 12 so it doesn't tax the PC as hard. So I would say that's a little bit, that's a little bit more impressive. Racing against, I got a grid of 16 cars, and it's running pretty good. This game runs decent. Now, my issue is with the handling. You look at the yellow right there on the steering wheel. Long story short, before I got the wheel calibrated, I was having some serious problems. I couldn't keep the wheel straight. It was either jumping from left to right like an old Nintendo controller. I finally got this headache straightened out. So the wheel's calibrated, but then I had to mess around with the sensitivity, because the one thing that, like, I would go around a corner and I would come into the corner and the car would have understeer. And and I'm coming into this corner coasting. No brakes, no gas. I coast into the corner, and I come into the corner with understeer. So I try to compensate for it and try to turn, then all of a sudden the car goes into oversteer. That's the one part that, in my opinion, is not realistic. When you come into a corner and you come into a corner carrying an understeer, the only way to come out of that understeer and force the car into an oversteer situation is to give the car gas or give the car a brake. Yeah, those cars just went by. That looked smooth. It wasn't skittish the way they went through. So. The car was a little bit bouncy, but I can live with that. Oh, it doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look bad at all. tire hit the wall as I was leaving the pits. Whoa, look at that. I hit the wall as I was leaving the pits. That wasn't me. That was the computer taking control of the game, and I hit the wall, so they need to fix that. don't know. I might have to turn on the anti-locks, and I might have to turn on the traction control. But let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and retire the pit box. We'll try a different track. And then I'll come back to the chat here. So right now, I sum it up like this. As far as the VR part of this game goes, this game and Project Cars 2 are probably the best looking game I have as far as VR goes on these racing sims. So as far as VR clarity goes, I would go with this game, and I would go with Project Cars 2. I think as far as the realism goes, I would go with Assetto Corsa Competizione. So again, this game normally retails for $40. I think if you catch it on sale, because it's on sale for $20 or 50% off until December 1st. I think for $20 this game is worth taking a look at. So, but it's not going to be like Project Cars 2 already came with a lot of cars, and you know, a game like GT Sport over on the PlayStation, it came with a medium amount of cars, but over time they just kept adding cars and adding cars and adding cars. So I see the same thing happening with this car. So, you know, so to get all the cars, you're going to end up spending some money on DLC. As far as the car goes, I wish they had more GT3 cars. And naturally, when it comes to tracks, naturally, I wish this game had Circuit de la Sarthe, 24 Hours of Le Mans. Who knows? Maybe that'll come with a future update. As far as I know, I think the only game that I know that comes standard with Circuit de la Sarthe would be Project Cars 2 and GT Sport. I know that iRacing has Circuit de la Sarthe, but I don't know if it's a standard track or if it's paid DLC. So let's go back. Oh, actually, we can try a different track from here. We can go ahead and give Suzuka a try. But let me come back to the chat before we get going here. And it is a little bit easier to get to the chat on this game versus ACC, because that could be a nightmare trying to get to the chat on that game. So let's try a couple of laps on Suzuka. Hopefully I won't have to reset recenter the seat. Yeah, but Assetto Corsa Competizione, those cars feel super wide. let's restart it. Oh. I think I just caused it to crash. That might be the end of the stream, folks. Let's try it again. Yeah, it crashed. Let's see if I get down here and close it. And then we'll try it again. All right, we're loading up. Try it again. So I got to find a different way to hit the pause button. Go back to Bathurst. I can't help it. I love that track. "23 turns. Try this one last time. They got me started at the back of the back too. Yeah, that car looks damn good. Yeah, I gotta turn the traction control on. I felt the back end coming loose just off that takeoff. trying to make a move on him. You know what? Let's give multiplayer a try. I think I was running a good race up until I lost it right there, but clearly I'm gonna have to turn on some traction control and turn on some turn on the anti-lock brakes. Looking for multiplayer sessions to join. Wow. Not much going on with the this GT3. We're gonna go with the Porsche again. No, I don't want to leave. Let's see if it'll let me spectate. Because I'm guessing the race must have already started. Body's moving. Here, let me stand up and take a look around here. Okay, let me come back to the chat. See where we're sitting. Mm-hmm. DJ, what's good? I just bought this game. I'm just monkeying around with it, putting around with it, doing a few laps. So do a couple of more laps and we'll call it. So actually, let's go back and we'll try the Benz this time. Now I like that color, the standard color. Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get the car. All right, let's see what we got with this Benz. Look at those cutouts. Oh my God. Stop going on that grass. We're going back to the Porsche. But we're gonna go turn the traction control on and let's see here. Gameplay, realism. All right, let's try that. Let's see how that works. We'll go back to my trusty Porsche. I think I got the steering sensitivity where I want it. Now, just like I said, I got to keep the brakes. I got to keep from locking up the brakes, and I got to keep from spinning the wheels coming out of the corners. So I got the traction control on low. Well, I think that at 20 bucks, I like this game enough to keep it. That last race I just ran right there, I really didn't plan on finishing the race. I just planned on doing a couple of laps, but I like the challenge of trying to, battle for position while trying to keep the car sturdy, trying to keep the car stable. Because, yeah, I slid. I was sliding, and just like on a set of Corsa Competizione, I reached the point where I started taking some chances, and almost paid the price several times for it. So I like the game enough to keep it. So let's go back to the main menu. Yeah, I like it enough to keep it. The only, let me see, opponent. Oh, you know what? Set allow vehicle classes and number of AI. Opponent skill level growth. That's what we wanted right there. Because I wanted to mix the other cars in too. So I'm not going to run this race. I just want to see if it's going to be different cars in there. If it's going to be the McLaren and the Benz in there with me. If that be the case, then I'm going to go ahead and shut it down after that. Take a nap and wake up and do it again. Got a band right there. Look at that pileup. That's it, we're done because the car flipped over. Yeah, this car turned upside down on the track. See, that black car's not moving, otherwise we could go. Looking at this rear view mirror, that's clear. And to me, that's where the extra pixels of the Quest 2 shines. Because the rear view mirror is like pixelated on HTC. Plate, oh shit. let's tire to the pit box. Come back to the chat and we'll wrap this up. Where are the controls? Where's the controllers at? Come back to the chat. Kevin D, what's up? Gaming Legends, what's good? Well, in closing, at $20, I think it's worth a look. So, I like it. That race was challenging. I liked it. I actually wanted to finish that race. So I got to go in and tweak some of the settings. And, yeah, like maybe a 20-lap race or something, turn on tire wear, turn on fuel consumption, all that stuff. I like it. I wasn't happy when I first fired the game up because I was having a couple of problems, but I like it. It's a keeper. It is a keeper. So, let me see. My goodness, here it's 6:43 a.m. on the East Coast here. So I think it's working its way towards 1 o'clock or noon over in the UK. So good morning to all my UK friends. Hope you are having a great Thanksgiving today. So I am going to take a nap, and I'm actually going to come back and play this some more and tinker around with it. I like it. It grew on me a little bit. The VR looks good. So I would put the clarity on this game, the VR clarity, I would put it neck and neck with Project Cars 2. It definitely looks better than Assetto Corsa Competizione. But as far as realism goes, I still like Assetto Corsa Competizione just slightly better, but I like this. As far as realism goes, I don't know, I'll maybe make the case that it's probably a little more realistic. Feels a little more realistic than Project Cars 2. And I'll have to go in and play with the force feedback because I want a little more. I want the wheel to fight back a little bit more. So, but I like it. So I'm going to go back and have a look at the replay of this and see how smooth it ran. And like I said, I'm going to take a nap, get up in a couple hours, have some breakfast, and come back and play this again. So I like it. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to get on out of here. And I'll see everybody in a few hours, hopefully, if I don't sleep the whole day away. Wakanda forever. Long live the king. Deuces.